Welcome into Unfiltered, everybody. A lot to get into today as it pertains to our Philadelphia Phillies. Yesterday, a great move by Dave Dombrowski in getting a true closer, Jhoan Duran, from the Minnesota Twins. We were all excited to start the show singing Dombrowski's praises, but then news just drops about 45 minutes ago. They make another trade for an outfielder, Harrison Bader, which I don't really think moves the needle, at least for me. But let's start with the closer. We'll start with the good news, with the big move, and we got our resident all-star closer. Oh, it's not working.
Good job there, Bill.
Oh, my drop.
Philadelphia Phillies. From
There you go.
Philadelphia Phillies, pitcher Ricky Botanico.
It wasn't working for a second. So let's turn it over to our resident all-star. What did the Phillies get in Jhoan Duran? Rico?
A stud. I mean, bottom line is when you think about a closer, it's the mentality that comes first. This guy's got a mentality to close out games. You think about his stuff, 100-plus mile-an-hour fastball. That's first and foremost. Also has like an 86, 87-mile-an-hour curveball. That's almost unheard of. You know the arm speed you need to do that? It's ridiculous. It's a 12-6 kind of jetter. It's not one of those looping curveballs. And then he's got a split that'll put anybody away. So, I mean, what you get from this guy is a guy that has been there, done it. He doesn't have any problems. He's been good in the postseason when he has pitched in the postseason. This is a guy that's going to be the closer, Rob Thompson. There's no doubt about it. You heard from Dave Dombrowski yesterday. He said, this guy's got it. He's basically, we got him to be the back-end guy in the bullpen, period. So I don't think we're going to have any more of that, hey, let's go situational here, lefty-righty type stuff. No. This guy gets anybody out. He is nasty, and he's got that edge. And what I mean by the edge is I'm going to stick it to you type edge. And it's a cockiness, which I love. And this guy deserves to get a shot, and he's going to be the Phillies closer from here on out. And they got him for a couple more years on top of it.
That's the beautiful part about it. He's under team control through 2027, so he's your closer for the next 2.5 seasons. And I was looking at some of his numbers last night. In his career, he's had 83 save opportunities. He's converted 74 of them. That's a percentage of 89.2. You look at every pitcher throughout Major League Baseball history with at least 50 saves. That is the third highest save percentage behind only Smoltz and Eric Gagne. This guy is a true stud, as Ricky Bo pointed out. Now, some people think they paid a hefty price for it, giving up Mick Abel and Eduardo Tait, but Dave Dombrowski weighed in on this hefty price. Listen to Dave Dombrowski.
Well, I mean, we like quite a few closers or quite a few relievers. There weren't very many available as time went on. Some of the other organizations decided to not make some moves. So we just thought he was the best guy out there, really, is what it came that was available to be acquired. A lot of clubs have been talking about if we were going to acquire their closer, that they were asking for Andrew Painter. We decided that we weren't going to trade Andrew in this trade. And so we felt this was a deal that we got a dominant closer for a tough price, two good players, but something that we think where we are makes sense.
All right, Ricky Bo. So that was Dave Dombrowski. We paid a tough price. They didn't have to give up Painter. They didn't have to give up Aiden Miller, and they didn't have to give up Justin Crawford. But they do give up 18-year-old catcher Eduardo Tait and then starting pitcher Mick Abel. What'd you think of what they gave up?
Number one, I've never actually seen Tait play. From hearsay, he's supposed to be a good catcher. He projects, there's the word, projects to be a very good catcher in the big leagues, possibly a first baseman in the big leagues, which doesn't help the Phillies very much. But when you think about this, Mick Abel, I had him on the trade blocks the whole time. I think that's, by the way, the only reason the Phillies brought him up a month ago was to show him off. It was a showcase for this time of year. So you knew that this guy was going to be gone, and I didn't hear one person complain about that. Not one person went out there and said, oh, we can't trade Mick Abel. But now all of a sudden you get it, and there's going to be people complaining about it. I think that's wrong. I think that's bogus. And he was just there to get traded. They gave him a small opportunity in the big leagues to show him off to other teams. They figured, okay, he went back down to AAA. He figured out, he made adjustments. Now it's time to get rid of him. I think the Phillies did a great thing. I don't think they lost as much as everybody thinks. Number one, these guys are prospects, which means they are not major leaguers yet. That doesn't even necessarily mean they're going to make the major leagues. How many prospects have fallen through? Think about this.
More than not.
More than not, they fall through.
And I don't think that there's a majority of fans who were upset about what they gave out. I think it was a small minority of people who thought Taiit and Abel was too much for Jhoan
Well,
Duran.
people are saying, you know what bothers me? People are all over the Eduardo Taiit thing. 99% of them have not seen him play that are saying it.
And the fact that he's only 18 years old, he was not going to be your catcher for at least a few years. Some people are projecting him to not even be a catcher at the MLB level, to be either a first baseman or a DH. I had no problem with what they gave up to get, as Ricky described them, a stud closer in Jhoan Duran. I mean, the guy's averaging over 100 miles an hour on his fastball. Left-handed batters are only hitting 181 against him. The guy is an absolute stud. And you mentioned you got a legit closer. Rob Thompson, you don't need to worry about the closer by committee. Well, Dombrowski weighed in on that a little bit last night as well. Listen to Dave Dombrowski.
Because he's good enough. Really. I mean, he's legitimate. I mean, he's a legitimate closer. And we talked about it beforehand that if we got him, he'd be our guy. So, and then it does help in the sense that he can mix and match around. He gets lefties and righties out. In fact, his average, I mean, righties don't hit him. Their batting average is, their OPS is not very good at all, but their batting average for lefties are just, it's amazing how low it is overall. And so he gets lefties and righties out. The one thing they told me, they said, don't worry, he'll pitch. If you wanted to use another inning, he would. And Rod Thompson said, well, we're pitching him in the ninth. He has also pitched multiple innings at various times, too, but I don't think we're getting him for that purpose.
So there it is. He's a legit closer. We said if we got him, he was going to be our guy. So I do expect him to be your ninth inning guy.
I think it was pretty simple. He said, we're pitching. We don't need to know that. We're pitching him in the ninth.
Correct.
That tells me Rob doesn't have a choice.
No. Now, where Rob can get creative is who's the setup guy. With Kerkering and Strahm, now I think you worry about matchups with Kerkering being the right-handed pitcher, Strahm being the lefty. I think now your seventh and eighth inning, you can get creative based off of matchups, but you know in the ninth, they're getting Duran.
Duran's given up one home run this year.
That's incredible, man.
In 93, how many plate appearances? 206 plate appearances.
And I was looking at his other numbers. His 65.4% ground ball rate is second out of 289 qualified pitchers with over 40 innings pitched. Second in his ground ball rate.
Did you look at some of his video?
He's unbelievable.
You'll be impressed.
It is nasty the way he
not
throws.
only does he throw 100, but it's got movement. That's the hard part. I mean, throwing 100, and if it's flat, these major leaguers could hit it. But when you have that late movement and that late outside movement, especially to lefties, that's almost impossible to pick up. Impossible.
So, love the move. I was singing Dave Dombrowski's praises yesterday. And then 20 minutes before we come on the air, he lets me down. Because we all know they needed another bat in this lineup. And instead of going out there, and maybe they tried to get one of the bigger names, after Suarez was off the board, I wanted to see them get Stephen Kwan. Apparently, the asking price from the Guardians for Kwan was very high. They asked the Padres for the third overall prospect in all of baseball. At least that's the reports. So he makes the move for Harrison Bader. I want to get into that move coming up next because I don't think that moves the needle. I'm curious where Ricky Bo weighs in on the Harrison Bader move. But we want to hear from you today. Today is a reaction day. I want to hear from people. Have the Phillies done enough to become true World Series contenders? You can hit us up on the phone lines. You can hit us up on the text board, 610-632-0975. Coming up, we'll introduce our Twitter poll. We'll take a look at Harrison Bader. And there's still a little under 4 hours until the deadline, so maybe, just maybe, another move is coming. And if it does, we will break that news and we will react live. A lot more to get into here on Unfiltered, 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports Philadelphia.